Good morning, Ridge. This is Pastor Josh, and I've got the announcements for the week of August 26th. I'm here at Daniel Miller's house, and maybe you just saw Zoe, the dog and mascot of the Miller family. And we're here because we're starting a very important new part of the Ridge's life, and that's a new emphasis on small groups. And so each week we're going to introduce you to one of the small groups that are all launching on this fall here at the Ridge. And one of the leaders of one of those groups is Daniel. You may know him as the keyboardist at the Ridge, but I know him as a friend and also as a retired pastor and as a tie-dye enthusiast. And so for today, we want to tell a little bit about the group that Daniel's starting, which is studying the Gospel of John. And so Daniel, tell me a little bit about the vision for this small group that will be starting here in September.
Yeah, my idea is just to have a group of people who gather together. As Methodists, we're supposed to be people of the book. And that's what John Wesley encouraged us to be. And I think a lot of times we do a lot of study about the book. We do topical things. But I like to go verse by verse through the scripture. And so, as Josh said, I'm going to be starting the Gospel of John. I fell in love with John right after I became a Christian. I was just a young teenager. And someone told me that's the book I ought to read. I read it. And just like I said, fell in love with it. It's always been one of the things that's guided me and just nurtured me along in my Christian faith. And so we'll be doing the Gospel of John verse by verse.
So tell us a little bit about when the group is meeting. What do people need to bring? Where do they go?
Okay, you need to bring a $100 bill. No, not really. You'll need to bring a Bible. If you don't have one, we can provide one for you. We'll be meeting on Wednesday night starting on September 12th at about 6:30. And so we'll be meeting down at the church so that everybody can just kind of find there, and we'll bring our chairs in a circle and just visit around the Gospel of John.
Great. And I did want to ask you, because one of the things that I like about you, and one of the things that we have in common is a love and a passion for John's Gospel. And what is it? For me, I think of, when I read John, every time I read it, I hear this story about Jesus, who came so that we may believe, in John's own words, but not just believe in some set of principles or some abstract thing, but believe in a person who came to show us that we could be friends with God. And I get that every time I read it. It's moving to me. Mm-hmm. What is it for you that brings you back to John so much?
Well, when I first read John, to me, it showed me who Jesus really is. I was someone who was brought up in a church but really didn't know church, didn't know Jesus, didn't know anything about that too much. And the Gospel of John showed me who Jesus was, a man who came to this earth, who he got hungry, he got tired, he cried when his friends died, he felt the same things we feel. And yet at the same time, John shows us that Jesus is more than that. He is actually God who came down, incarnate, the Word made flesh, as he says in the very beginning. And so that always encourages me that as a human being, he was able to do so much through the power of the Holy Spirit. And we as Christians can do the same. And that book always just brings that out for me.
So I want everybody to consider how studying John this semester could enrich their own spiritual lives in the same way. Come check out the study. But the last thing that we got to do here today, Daniel, is I need you to give us our announcements for this week.
Okay. Well, I got one more thing for
for
our study. Besides the fact that I've loved John forever, I just, I know you care for John a bunch, but I really think I love John more than you do, and I just wanted you to know that. And if not more, at least I've loved him longer. And so, anyway.
And it's good you're not competitive about it.
No, and second thing is that this study is for everybody. It's not going to be just for men or just for women. I want just anybody who's interested in just reading Scripture, even if it's for the first time, to come and be a part of that. Like I said, that was a book I read for the first time when I was a young Christian, and it still has made a world of difference to me. Okay, launching on into our announcements. We have announcements coming up. The first thing that we want to talk about is small groups. It'll be launching the week after Labor Day, Sunday. So start keeping that in mind. Of course, my study will be the week after the week after. But we're still going to be starting those studies, those small groups then. They'll be highlighted in the next few weeks, I guess, of announcements. The second thing we want to talk about is we have T-shirts that the Ridge is going to be selling. They're going to be $10 delivered soon. They'll have a little logo over the Ridge and some stuff like that. So that'll be interesting to have. And then also on September 9th is an important Sunday for us as a church group, as we have back to church Sunday. We'll gather together for worship as normal. We'll have a picnic across the street from the church. But just a time for us to go together as community and to be closer to God.
So that's your information on the first new small group. There are 5 new small groups launching this fall, and you're going to get to hear about each one of them in the weeks ahead. Come and check one of them out. And have a wonderful week.
Thanks. We have to stay like a Stellacossus and not move for
Right?
2 minutes.
That's a keeper.
Or we have to sit here and talk and pretend we're having a conversation about
Yeah.
something and one of us has to laugh.